Monet was one of the leaders of the Impressionist movement. His 1873 painting Impressionist Sunrise gave the style its name. Monet had an aptitude towards art since he was young. He was inspired to paint outdoor settings by his friend Eugene Bolin, a landscape painter. The death of his second wife inspired the water garden series Water Lilies. This gallery will demonstrate the technique of the Impressionist style, showing modern landscapes in a modern style. As with other Impressionist painters, Monet would paint layer after layer of paint in quick brush strokes. He would have the eye mix the colors in his paints instead of relying upon the paintbrush to mix them for the viewer. These three works of Monet's Railway Bridge, Water Lilies, Waterscape, Cloudy, and Japanese Footbridge and Water Lilies demonstrate the common theme that Monet used throughout many of his works, the interplay of water and light in different seasons and weather. Monet spent several years in Argenteuil painting the countryside. His Railway Bridge is an excellent work showing the stark contrast between nature and industry. In his own way, Monet neither celebrates nor denounces the railway, but rather incorporates it into an idyllic landscape. Characteristics of Monet is the water scene with dynamic light elements. Recall that Monet is best known for recording the changes of light and created several versions of the railway bridge. As with the railway bridge, Monet created several versions of his painting Water Lilies. In his own self-constructed garden in Giverny, Monet would paint again the same scene over and over, painting a few at a time and continuously adding paint to each. Monet would bring his canvas out of door and paint. This made possible with the invention of tubes of paint, making transportation a lot easier. In this painting, Water Lilies, Waterscape, Cloudy, Monet uses these thick brushstrokes to capture the impression of a pond of water lilies. The composition of the painting is unusual. The viewer is almost hovering over the pond and looking down at the horizon line at the bank is barely existent. The colors used in this painting are mostly complementary and blend as the viewer looks and brushes frame the pond. The next painting, Japanese Footbridge and Water Lilies, is another painting from Monet's series at his garden at Giverny. Using Impressionism, Monet caught the way that the light hits the bridge from above, illuminating the upper part of the bridge, and we can tell that this painting was done in the afternoon when the sun was high in the sky. To capture the exact time and light in which this is portrayed, Monet would have had to paint very quickly. This is shown through, again, his quick, messy brushstrokes and gobs of paint on the canvas. These paintings were done in the time period right after the Industrial Revolution in France. Many people were lower or middle class citizens. They lived in crowded and polluted conditions in the cities. The countryside was an escape for them. It was complete opposite of the cities, being tranquil and relatively pollution-free. Monet is an interesting example of the Impressionist movement because of the dedication he took to study the difference in light and time and pave the way for other Impressionist painters. For without Monet, the name Impressionism would not exist. The term Impressionism was coined for the art style because one of his old paintings. After painting over 100 works in his lifetime, he died in 1928. He was 86 years old. Today, his home at Giverny is a museum, and his paintings are recognized internationally.